Welcome back to Tiger Nation. We got Carson with you.
Jacob Meadows.
Tay,
Vaughn.
Caleb, and we got our guest speaker.
Dr. Balentine.
Okay, we want to start out with one question. What's one piece of advice you can share with a student?
I think the best piece of advice I could share with students is just don't give up. Persevere, right? Like when you're getting an obstacle in your way, whether it's at school or in sports or an outside activity that you're doing, just don't give up. Keep trying, push your hardest, keep going. Keep trying to do and achieve because you really never know what you will achieve. So just keep trying.
Yes, ma'am.
What piece of advice would you give your younger self?
I think the piece of advice I would give my younger self, honestly, is to try to really challenge myself. Like in middle school and high school, like don't just be okay with the status quo. Like don't just be like, okay, like I've got okay grades. I've got like really, really challenge myself because, once I went to college and then kind of, started my career and stuff like that, that really is one thing that I look back and I'm like, I wish when I was in high school, I looked the most, but middle school too. I wish I would have really, really, really challenged myself and pushed myself a little harder to achieve what I wanted to and really kind of self-reflect on what I wanted to do with my life.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the most valuable lesson you've learned in life?
I think the most valuable lesson I've learned in life is, and it's kind of weird, but how to kind of read people. Like when you walk into a room and you are with a group of people, how to understand what they need from you. Like to understand like how they need you to say things and how they need you to approach them and kind of the best way that you can do that so that way, because sometimes you have to give them, not great news. And so if you can give it to them in a way that they perceive it really well, I think that's probably the most valuable lesson that I've used or learned that has definitely helped me in this career as well.
Okay, so when did you know you wanted to be a principal?
Well, when I was little, when I was like really, really young, like elementary school, I knew I always wanted to be a teacher. My whole family, my dad's side of my family is all in education. He has 7 brothers and sisters, and 6 of the 8 of them, 6 of them were teachers or, all the way up to superintendents. And so I knew I wanted to be a teacher. And then my dad was a principal or assistant principal my whole life, younger life. And so that really just inspired me, him being a principal and seeing how he did things. And I really, really wanted to.
What is your best advice for someone that's interested in your career?
So I would say the best advice for somebody interested in my career is, one, make sure that you love working with kids. Make sure that you like kids because you're going to work with kids. I think, too, just have fun with it. Try to make your job fun every day for the people in your building, and really try to make it so it's a safe place, it's a fun place, it's a place people want to be, and just enjoy it. And make it where, students want to learn, teachers want to be here to teach, and because that's really going to make the job easier for you. If everybody wants to be here and wants to have a good time, and wants to learn and push themselves, it really makes the job easier for you because you just enjoy watching what's happening in the school.
What gives you motivation?
I'm a very competitive person, like extremely competitive, and so I would just say I honestly have a lot of internal motivation. I look to just try to be the best I can be in every situation, and so I think just kind of being motivated for my family as well, but just kind of that internal motivation to push myself and everything so that I can be the best that I can be.
What's your favorite thing about being a principal?
Honestly, working with students and teachers, like being here every day, going into classrooms and just sitting in classrooms, even if it's not formal evaluations, but just seeing kids learn, seeing teachers do awesome jobs at what they do in teaching, seeing all the like super unique and creative things that teachers are doing and that students come up with and that students are doing. I mean, this right here in of itself we're doing right now is awesome. Like it's so amazing to see y'all do this kind of stuff and kind of elevate and take to the next level, you know, and be super independent and take this on. And so that's really my favorite thing is to see you guys like learn and see the light bulb go off.
Now, I want to ask you one thing. I want to ask you something about Coach Mack. Like, when you say you was very competitive, like you were competitive about the football team and everything, what do you think about the football team not going to playoffs? Like
For the high school?
no, the middle school, because most middle schools go to the playoff, and Hardin County, we didn't decide to go to the playoffs.
Well, the reason the middle school didn't is because we right now are not a part of like well, it's not TSSAA, but it's middle school. There's an M in there somewhere. And so because we're not a part of that, we just, there wasn't really like a playoffs for us to go to. I mean, I was actually very like super impressed by the football team this year because y'all won a lot more games than I think anybody maybe thought. And so, so y'all did amazing. And so I think that's a great thing. I do think in the coming years, there's talks about us looking into kind of getting in a league where there might be like a playoff type thing at the end. I know there is playoffs in the end for some. We just in Hardin County are not a part of like the Tennessee organization. So that's kind of why that opportunity wasn't available for our football team this year.
What are the differences between your old school? I knew it was like pretty big. It's a big school you had to go to. What was the difference between your old school and this school?
Well, it was a high school. So like, you know, there's obviously differences in like curriculum and, you know, like there in high school, you have to get credits and that sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, the size is probably the biggest thing. I mean, it was a school of 3,000 plus students, the largest high school in the state of Tennessee, you know, and then to come here, it's much smaller. Even if I were to go to the high school here, it's much smaller. That's probably the biggest difference. A difference that I've enjoyed here more is just, you know, being back where I grew up. I mean, there's just something special about that, right? Literally walking the halls of the middle school I attended, you know, and being here. I mean, like that's awesome. You know, it's a cool experience. And just kind of having this like family atmosphere. The old school I had that, but it was so big that it's easy to get lost, right? Here I feel like students really stand out and shine, and I know more students in this school, right? Like I see you and I know you by name and stuff. And it's just so hard because there's so many students. And so I like a smaller atmosphere because I feel like it does give us a chance to really get to know you guys.
Is it easier for being at a smaller school than being at a big school? Like, is it easier to be in middle school than high school?
So in terms of large to big, I mean, each has its pros and cons. I mean, in terms of when you're planning something, a larger school is maybe a little bit harder to plan for. But in a smaller school, sometimes you have to wear more hats, right? Because in a larger school, like my old high school, we had a principal and then 8 assistant principals. And so, you know, you each did a lot, but it was more like a lot with one thing, right? Here, there's myself, Coach Rendell, Mr. Brad, and so, you know, we have to wear a lot more hats. We have to do a lot more things because of that. And so they kind of have their pros and cons of each.
What is a unique thing about yourself?
I would say something that is a little unique about me is that I have 4 children, and when my youngest one was born, I had 4 kids under 4. And so when my kids will all be in high school at the same time because I'll have a senior, 2 sophomores, and a freshman. And so very, very young children now, but it's very, very close in age, which is kind of unique. A lot of people have 4 kids, but their kids aren't always so close in age like mine. That's maybe something a little unique about me.
What do you wish you knew before starting your career?
Before starting my career, I think some things that I learned, but maybe wish I knew before I started my career, in just education and teaching, was just how to let loose of some control. I mean, it's definitely something I learned throughout my career, but like when I was in the classroom as a teacher, it's very easy to want to have a lot of control in the classroom and not give up control. And I wish I would have known at the beginning of my career that it was okay to kind of give up some of that control and like students more take, ownership of their learning. And so now it's something I did towards the end of my teaching when I was in the classroom, but then as a principal, I do try to push teachers to do that, because I think when students take ownership of their learning and, there's lots of small group and talking between students that's academically focused, I just think you learn more.
Carson?
Since you're like an early riser and you go to the gym, what time do you go to sleep? Like,
Well, it just depends. Typically, I try to go to sleep by 10 or 11. It's maybe sometimes midnight or so, but by the time I get my kids to sleep, you can't predict that always. And so, 10 o'clock would be the preferred time that I am trying to go to sleep, but yes, that would be it.
it must be a struggle
It
because you got to
can-
go to the gym and
The
everything.
struggle is real. Well, I have a home gym, so I really just go out to my third garage that I have turned into a home gym. So I don't have to drive there, so that's good.
What is one of your personal goals that you like to do? Like, what are you aiming for yourself to be better?
So for me personally, a lot of the goals I've set for myself, I've have reached and attained. I would say my personal goal now in my life is to continue what I'm doing on this track. My goal in my career anyways is to always put myself in situations where I feel like that I can try to affect as many students' lives as possible, that I can personally, by the things that I'm doing, help kids to attain what they're doing. And so to continue to do that. So whether that be, being here for 20, 30 more years, whether that be, doing other things, but just trying to always push myself to help others. That's kind of my goal. And then, it's for my kids too. I mean, my kids are my number one priority. So now in my life, I've kind of attained a lot of the personal goals I guess I've set for myself. So now my personal goal would be to continue to push my own 4 children to think about what they want to do with their lives and then help them do anything I can do to help them get there.
Yes, ma'am. Like, when you came to our school this year, what was your main focus on changing from last year to this year? Like, what were you wanting to change?
I felt like I just kind of wanted to give middle school or help to give, because I'm not doing it myself. I mean, the teachers here are great. The students here are great. So, I mean, it's all of us doing this. But I think, honestly, my biggest goal when I first came here, the very first thing that I wanted to do was kind of change the mindset and what people thought of middle school and the kind of like the culture. Middle school sometimes in the world gets a bad rap, right? Not just here, not just this middle school, just everywhere. And quite honestly, I think we've kind of done it. Like, I hear nothing but good things in this community about our school, and that's a testament to you guys and the teachers, because y'all are doing the things that we need to do as a school community to make good things happen in our community. So I mean, you guys and the students and the teachers and staff here at the school are what's made that happen, but I do think that was my number one thing, because I felt like if we could change the mindset of people about our school and change the culture of our school where everybody wanted to be here and we wanted to have fun and we wanted to do fun things, but then, obviously learn and grow at the same time, then I felt good about for specifically year one. And so, and I think we're on a good way of doing that, because I'm hearing great things and people are impressed by you guys and, so, and the teachers and what they're doing. I mean, I've only heard good things. So, and I've only experienced good things here. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like we're on our way. If not attaining it, we have attained it.
What was your main focus on changing from last year to this year? Like, what were you wanting to change?
I felt like I just kind of wanted to give middle school, or help to give, because I'm not doing it myself. I mean, the teachers here are great. The students here are great. Like, so, I mean, it's all of us doing this. But I think, honestly, my biggest goal when I first came here, the very first thing that I wanted to do was kind of change the mindset and what people thought of middle school, and the kind of like the culture. Middle school sometimes in the world gets a bad rap, right? Not just here, not just this middle school, just everywhere. And quite honestly, I think we've kind of done it. Like, I hear nothing but good things in this community about our school, and that's a testament to you guys and the teachers, because y'all are doing the things that we need to do as a school community to make good things happen in our community. So I mean, you guys and the students and the teachers and staff here at the school are what's made that happen, but I do think that was my number one thing, because I felt like if we could change the mindset of people about our school and change the culture of our school where everybody wanted to be here and we wanted to have fun and we wanted to do fun things, but then, obviously learn and grow at the same time, then I felt good about for specifically year one. And so, and I think we're on a good way of doing that, because I'm hearing great things and people are impressed by you guys and, so, and the teachers and what they're doing. I mean, I've only heard good things. So, and I've only experienced good things here. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like we're on our way. If not attaining it, we have attained it.
Okay, so when you were in school, like, what was your favorite subject? And after that, like, how was your transition from the schools?
From, like, being in school to...
From, like, going from your old school to this school.
Okay. So when I was in school, for a long time, actually, I was really good at, like, math and science. Like, that was my areas I was really good at. I really thought I was going to be a science teacher up until my senior year of high school. I had just a phenomenal math teacher. She's retired now, but Ms. Carruthers, and she just inspired me to want to be a math teacher. And so I went to school, got a math degree, and then I went and I taught at a private school while I got my undergrad, or I got a master's in, like, education so I could be a teacher. And so math was really kind of my best subject, math and science, really. And then I was a math teacher, and so I did that for a long time. And then in terms of, going from there to here, I mean, I would just say both places had kind of like a sense of community, but there's just something, special about Hardin County. Just there's really something special about the fact that one thing that my old school definitely had a very big sense of community feel. But this school and this community, to me, has even more so that, because people leave and they come back, right? They leave, they go to college, they do things with themselves, and then they come back to the community.
Yeah, like, it kind of feels like home.
Yeah, exactly
More homely.
that. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's exactly it. And that's how it felt to me. I mean, I've truly felt like I've come home, and that's been the best thing for me, transitioning here is kind of feeling that sense of home.
We got a small population, but like we're all family.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I exactly agree with that.
What's your favorite sport and your favorite thing about Hardin County?
So I like all sports. Growing up, I played basketball. I played softball a little bit, not too much, but I played basketball, for the most of when I was growing up. But just kind of sport to watch really is probably football. I'm a huge, huge football fan. Obviously I was around it my whole life. My dad was the head football coach for forever, and now is again a football coach. Yeah, my husband and I, we have season tickets to Alabama games, and we go there, and we're huge Alabama fans. It's a little slumpier, but we're gonna make it out. But yeah, we enjoy going to those, and that's kind of our.
Oh no!
I don't know
kind of
about
our
Alabama.
time. I know,
No, I'm
I
not an
know,
Alabama
I know.
fan. That's why Bama lost.
I know. It was.
Vols
a
are
sad
just better.
time. Yeah, not most years. It's okay.
Not most years. We're still better.
Do you
This
have any
year.
questions for us? Like any of
Yeah.
us?
Like any questions?
Yeah, I would say so. What do you think has been something that, because y'all are in 8th grade, so yeah, this is y'all's 3rd year here, right? And so what is something that you guys have felt like has been different this year, maybe than in the past couple of years that maybe you've enjoyed or maybe not enjoyed? Give us something to work on.
To be honest, I feel like there has been more improvements. Not as much kids get in trouble anymore.
Behavior has gotten better.
Yes. Most of us has matured, and I want to say we're having the school is better. I don't really know how to say it, but everybody's acting better, of course, and I figure that comes around because we're all maturing and everything, but I feel like the schools come better together in general.
Schools come together as it. All the grades have come together. It's not just 8th graders doing stuff. It's all grades going together and just doing stuff together and backing everybody up in different grades.
That's awesome. I love to hear that because that's the goal. That's exactly what we want to be happening. So the fact y'all feel that honestly makes me super happy because that's what we want. That was the goal. That's what we came in here wanting to do this year. So the fact that y'all say that I think is awesome.
We're gonna get the joke of the day right here.
Vaughn.
Have you heard about the new Disney virus?
No.
It makes everything on your computer go goofy.
I like it. That's a good one.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
I am.
I am who?
I am on the computer and I can't answer the door.
I like it.
That's pretty much gonna sum it up, and I want to say it was a good podcast, and thank you for coming here and talking on the podcast and letting us ask you the questions. And I'll catch everybody next time on here. This is Carson.
Jacob.
Tay.
Vaughn.
Caleb.
Dr. Balentine, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.